Hello everybody, my name is Verve, and welcome to September 5th, 2022's Bullshit Podcast. This week I am joined by... nobody. I'm here by myself. That's what happens when I wait until the Sunday before the podcast to think about, oh fuck, I need a guest for the podcast. So it's just gonna be me today, but that's fine because I have some pretty fucking good topics for this, or at least hopefully good. Some of them funny, some of them will hopefully be good, in terms of, like, I hope that what we're talking about will be good. So, sit back, relax, grab a snack, a drink, whatever fancies you this, Monday evening. And, yeah, we're gonna hop right into this. I have gameplay of some Forza Horizon 5 with the, lovely Dodge B5 Blue Dodge Charger, one of my favorite vehicles of all time, the Dodge Charger, of course. It's a fucking amazing vehicle, in my opinion. There's a lot of people out there that don't like Dodge, and if you don't like Dodge, that's fine. It's just the thing that I mainly love about Dodge is their... And I know we talked about Dodge a lot in the last podcast, so I'm gonna, just chill on talking about it too much. But all I'm gonna say is... I am happy that that Dodge throughout the years have continued to provide this, like, classic muscle car vibe that they always have had. So that's why I appreciate Dodge. Close second is the Chevy Camaro, but not all of Chevrolet actually continues that vibe. Anyway, enough talking about cars. If there are three things in this world that I like, it's cars, guns, and video games. So let's get into the video games. The first topic for this evening is... I hope it's good. I hope that what I'm about to read is gonna be good. After growing to become one of the most leaked games in franchise history, Ubisoft has confirmed that Assassin's Creed Mirage is real, and we'll be learning more about it next week. That's because the publisher is hosting a Ubisoft Forward on September 10th at noon Pacific Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which has been previously advertised as the event where we'll learn more about the future of Assassin's Creed and more. It seems Assassin's Creed Mirage will be the big highlight of the show, but it's possible we learn more about Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is Ubisoft in development Assassin's Creed live service platform. We might even learn about non-Assassin's Creed games too. Alright, pausing on the article here before we get into Assassin's Creed's Twitter's official tweet. I personally don't give a shit about an Assassin's Creed live service game. It seems like every single live service game that exists in modern gaming today fails horribly except, like, Battle Royales. I feel like Battle Royales are, like, the only live service games that actually are successful. That the dev teams actually give a shit to work on. And it kind of sucks because, like, I mean, I don't really want to talk about it much anymore, but... we saw how fucking Halo Infinite is turning out. That's supposed to be a live service game. Actually, car games have been doing well, too. Like, Need for Speed Heat was... I don't think it was supposed to be a live service, but I think it had a lot of live service vibes. And that worked well for its prime for a while. And then I think also Forza Horizon 5 being a live service game is doing pretty well. But, like... If it's not like a racing / driving game, or it's not a battle royale, it's doing really dog shit in terms of the live service, in terms of the live service, what do I want to call it? The live service standing, the way the live service is. But if I can just not click on the images. Alright, so here we have the tweet from Assassin's Creed. It says, Assassin's Creed Mirage is the next Assassin's Creed game. Can't wait to tell you more about it on September 10th at Ubisoft Forward, 9 p.m. CEST, 12 p.m. PT, hashtag Assassin's Creed. And based upon this image, it looks pretty cool. I'm not drawing too many conclusions about it now because just for a brief little history with my experience with Assassin's Creed, I've always fucking loved Assassin's Creed. The first game was okay. Like, the first game was pretty cool. You could tell that it needed a lot more polish than it had and whatever, but it was a pretty solid game. Then Assassin's Creed 2 came out. That game was fucking, like, amazing. That's, like, literally the second best, and this could make some people say, what heresy? It is the best. But in my opinion, Assassin's Creed 2, the second best Assassin's Creed game in the entire fucking series. It was fucking a banger. That you could just travel throughout, you know, old Italy during the Renaissance, and, you know, Ezio Auditore da Firenze, you know, fucking amazing character. Literally the GOAT of Assassin's Creed. No other Assassin's Creed protagonist has come close to the amount of legendary status that man has. Then my personal favorite and what I think is the best Assassin's Creed game, Brotherhood, came out. Brotherhood, I still have very vivid memories of, like, trying to learn, like, my little, like, fucking, you know, 14, 15-year-old brain trying to figure out how to speedrun that game was so much fun. I would like to revisit it someday. I own it on Steam, and I would like to revisit it again someday. I think I did revisit it a little while ago, like, not in too far distant memory. But I would like to revisit it. I think it was a ton of fun to play through Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Then Revelations came out, not as good as Brotherhood, but still a good game. And then, like, you know, I don't remember if it was 3 that then came out after that, but I personally enjoyed 3. I definitely personally think that 3 was better than Revelations. Maybe not in terms of the story, but in terms of the gameplay. Like, the open worldness, the open world nature of Assassin's Creed 3, being able to go out into the wilderness. They added parkouring around nature on top of parkouring on buildings, which was super fun. And I liked Connor. He was cool. He was just kind of like that innocent Native American kid thrust into this life of assassins and Templars and killing people because of his village's massacre, you know, that whole shebang. And there was, like, the George Washington DLC, which I never played, but I heard was really fucking good. And then there was, like, that PSP game, Liberation, that I heard was kind of bad. You know, and then Assassin's Creed just kind of went nutty with 4. If you've been around me long enough and have ever heard me talk about Assassin's Creed, you know how much I loathe Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I don't loathe it because it's a bad game gameplay-wise. I loathe it because the story is stupid. I played through about 3/4 of the game, or 2/3 of the game. And let me tell you, I stopped after that. Because the thing was, right, is that I'm a classic Assassin's Creed fan. I like parkouring around urban environments, and I like my stealth to be rewarded, right? There's no reward in getting on a fucking boat and having these giant naval battles. Like, Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was a good pirate game. It was a terrible Assassin's Creed game. Nowhere, like, from my point of view, right, I never finished the game myself. I got 2/3 of the way through, and then I just watched the rest of the cutscenes and all that shit on the, on YouTube. I didn't like Assassin's Creed 4 because the gist of what I got from it, and again, it's been a while since I played, but after I stopped playing and watched the rest of the cutscenes, this is the gist I got from it. Edward Kenway was and still is a pirate. He goes to this island or whatever. His pirate ship gets sunk or whatever. He kills and pretends to be an assassin just to get off the island. And then he meets some people along the way that he considers his friends, or that he's, like, not really friends with, but, like, acquaintances with, and he likes to help them and whatever, because they were helping him or whatever. And just time and time again, you know, the Assassin Order, who are, like, his friends now, they just get fucking massacred. Like, people keep dying left, right, and center, to the point where, like, the assassins in the Caribbean are, like, nothing anymore. And then suddenly Edward's like, oh, I give a shit about these people now. Whereas the entire 2/3 of the game prior, I don't give a shit about the people. And I think the main thing that made me stop was the game forced me and said, you have to upgrade your ship. Like, it forced me into the boat combat. I actually enjoyed the boat combat in Assassin's Creed 3 because it wasn't forced. It was something there to be like, once you finish the game or as you're going through the game, if you wanted that additional content, you could opt into it. Assassin's Creed 4, it was 100% forced. And I know now that the reason why I think Assassin's Creed 4 is such a bad game is because of its story. And the reason why I can say that confidently is because I also played Assassin's Creed Rogue. I think that was what it was called, right? Rogue? Hold on, let me look at Steam real quick. I think it was called Assassin's Creed Rogue. That was the one that, like, so Assassin's Creed 4 released for next-gen consoles, and Rogue released on the previous generation of consoles. Yeah, Rogue. Rogue was phenomenal. Because it was actually, like, an intermediary game that actually connected, 3 to, Unity. Like, it actually connected it, and it was like, whoa, this is an actual Assassin's Creed story where, like, you have this assassin who's part of, Achilles' order, and, you know, they accidentally trigger this mass, you know, fucking, like, world-ending event for, like, millions of people, and Shay is like, I can't stand for this, and so then he joins the Templars to try to stop the assassins from ignorantly slaughtering millions of fucking people, and that was a good game, and it still had all the pirate and boat combat bullshit from 4. But it was a good game because the story was actually Assassin's Creed game. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was just Sea of Thieves before Sea of Thieves was a thing. Like, that's literally all the game was. And so that kind of aggravated me about it. So I didn't like Assassin's Creed 4. I thought Rogue was infinitely better, but that's just my personal opinion. And then, just to kind of wrap up this rant, then we get to Origins. I'd not purchased whatever the steampunk one was, like Syndicate or whatever. I didn't purchase that. I didn't purchase any Assassin's Creed up until Origins. Got Origins, I'm like, right, it's been a while since I've dove into an Assassin's Creed game, let's go. And within the first hour of gameplay, it immediately disappointed me. Because your Hidden Blade is no longer a one-hit kill. In my opinion, if you're gonna spend the time and the effort to go through the stealth to take down enemies stealthy, your Hidden Blade should always be a one-hit kill. Now, people may say, well, yeah, but then, like, it's really challenging because then you actually have to have, like, skill to fight enemies. And it's like, I get that. But if I'm going to spend 20 to 40 minutes just chilling up in the rafters of a place, studying guard movements and wanting to do this flawless stealth, and then I go down there and I go to get my first kill and the dude just doesn't die and he's like, there he is, and then I have to enter a fight sequence anyway, then what's the point in doing any of that? Why don't I just run head first into a fucking camp and just start slaughtering everyone? Like, that's not an Assassin's Creed game. That's just a Dark Souls game at that point with extra steps. Like, it's not an Assassin's Creed game. And so I've always loathed the modern Assassin's Creeds too, because what's the point in stealth when you're not even going to kill people with stealth anyway? So that always annoyed the shit out of me, but continuing on with the article, finally. If rumors about leaks about Assassin's Creed Mirage are true, we're in for a game set in Baghdad with Basim, a major character from Assassin's Creed Valhalla. If you know, you know. I don't know, because Valhalla was, again, a modern Assassin's Creed game, as the protagonist. Leaks indicate that he's not yet an assassin at the start of Mirage, and instead a thief who comes to discover the Hidden Ones, which later become the Assassin's Order in the series. Which I believe the Hidden Ones were what was founded in Origins, because see, I read up like the wiki page for Origins or whatever after I was done with the game. I was like, I just want to know the story, and I got a vague gist of the story. It's like, the reason why it's called Origins is because fucking what's his name, I don't even remember, the dude you play as in Origins was like partially responsible for the formation of the Hidden Ones, which then later became the Assassins. Rumors also point to the game being a much more stripped back take on the franchise, feeling more like older games in the series rather than the massive sprawling open world RPGs of late. The potential for this to feel like a bridge between Assassin's Creed and new Assassin's Creed has me incredibly excited. I love the new games, especially Origins and Odyssey, but they're downright exhausting. An Assassin's Creed game I can beat in less than 80 hours, sign me up. So the person in the article said that. I hated Origins, never played, and since I hated Origins, I never played Odyssey, never gave a shit about Valhalla because they're just the modern Assassin's Creeds. It's kind of the same as, like, the advanced movement Call of Duties, right? I'm sorry, Call of Duty is, like, the one main thing that I know, so I know a lot about Call of Duty. It's kind of like Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, and Infinite Warfare. It's like, I kind of didn't really give a shit about them. Like, by Infinite Warfare, I didn't give a shit about Infinite Warfare. I just played Modern Warfare Remastered. So, yeah, it's kind of the same thing where, like, I'm not going to spend $60 on a game that I know I'll only play, like, an hour or two out of and then never touch again. So that's why I haven't really been buying Assassin's Creeds. I bought Origins ignorant of what Assassin's Creed had become, and I've regretted that purchase ever since. I wish I never bought that game. I wish I never experienced it. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. I'm glad that I bought it, and I'm glad I experienced it, because then that means I would have never fallen into the trap of Odyssey and Valhalla then, eh? But, yeah, it's bad. Assassin's Creed is in such a bad state now, and I hate it. So I hope that it takes less of a full-on combat approach, and it says a bridge between classic Assassin's Creed and new Assassin's Creed. I don't mind the open world sprawling nature of the game. Like Origins open world was fun. I didn't mind that. The thing that annoyed me was just it wasn't Assassin's Creed. It was not a stealth game. You were just ancient Egyptian Rambo running in with a shield and a sword and just fucking killing everybody, just slaughtering everybody like Anakin and the fucking Tusken Raiders. You know what I mean? Like there's no stealth about that. There was no stealth about the game. Stealth takedowns never killed anything, so what was the point in doing it? It was annoying. But yeah. So, new Assassin's Creed coming out, Mirage. It's also set in like a setting that reminds me of Revelations, which is good. So I'm hoping that Mirage kind of fits closer to like Revelations and like the Ezio trilogy than it does the modern throw stealth out the window and just combat trilogy that's been going on. But anyway, I've talked on about Assassin's Creed long enough. On to our second topic. I already made a video on this. If you haven't seen the video, please check it out. On the Verve YouTube channel, so not this one that this is going up on, the bullshit channel. On my main channel, my Verve YouTube channel, which if you just scroll through the bullshit page, you should see, like, I have a little section where it says my main channel, and there's, you know, my main channel. If you go to my main channel, I made a video called I Almost Regret Buying Halo Infinite. I highly suggest you go watch that. I really worked hard on that video in terms of... I tried to make the video not your typical bullshit. Get it? Because the podcast is made called bullshit. I tried to make it not your typical, like, bullshit. Like, I didn't want it to just be like a news video. I wanted to kind of give the viewer kind of like my feelings in terms of I just feel like part of a population that is being ignored by their respective quote-unquote government. Meaning, I feel like Halo fans for years have wanted just Halo to be what it was when Bungie was running it. And I'm not saying I want Bungie back necessarily. I miss Bungie, but I don't want Bungie back. I don't want... I'm not necessarily a Bungie cocksucker or whatever, you know? Like, I'm not a Bungie lover. I actually hate Destiny, personally. I'm not a Destiny person. I don't like Destiny. I don't like that each Destiny game you only get enjoyment out of... You pay $60 for a game that you're only going to play for, like... I don't know, through the main story, and then after that they're like, buy this DLC to continue your story. And it's like, no, I'd rather fucking not. I already paid $60. I'm not giving you 20 more. Or 10 more. But, yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Destiny. But... And I don't want Bungie back, but I want that same feeling, that same vibe of old Halo back. And I feel like gameplay-wise, just strictly talking about combat and gameplay-wise, Halo Infinite nails it. It does genuinely feel like old Halo, just with sprint and a few armor abilities. It feels kind of like Halo Reach if sprint wasn't an armor ability and it was just something that you had. The thing that annoys me about Infinite is actually the devs behind it. It's 343. Why has it taken them an entire year to start working on a proper progression system? Why has it taken them an entire year to get co-op campaign done? Why is it taking them an entire 2 years or however long they decided to push it back to get Forge done? Like, they're not even going to be working on local split-screen co-op campaign. Like, why? Like, these are all things that should have been in the game at launch, and they're just not there. So, we're going to read this little article, online campaign co-op, Forge beta, and multiplayer. They're just short paragraphs about it, so we're just going to read through them. And after I'm done reading these, I don't want to really talk about it anymore. I already made a video on it. Go watch that one. That one pretty much, you know, perfectly displays my feelings for it. But, Halo Infinite's long-awaited co-op, campaign co-op will finally arrive on November 8th, which we've discovered is not the case. I think they have pushed it back again, possibly. As part of the game's big winter update, 343 Industries released a video today running down what it calls its largest content update yet, breaking down the Forge beta, new multiplayer maps, and more. Which I'm pretty sure Forge and co-op campaign have been pushed back to, like, March next year. At least that's the vibe that I got from the videos I watched of people talking about it. Online campaign co-op. The biggest addition in the update finally goes live by following a beta period in July. Campaign co-op, which supports up to 4 players features cross-platform support, shared progression, mission replay, and a batch of new achievements. However, co-op campaign will be online only. 343 announced that it has chosen to cease development on local split screen to co-op to reallocate resources towards quickly implementing online updates and improvements based on player feedback. Bullshit. It is not based on player feedback at all. I mean, it might be based on early player feedback, but like, as soon as Forge and co-op multiplayer were or co-op campaign were announced, everybody wants that. Like, I understand that gamers can be very, like, mind-changey to developers, and I understand that it is very difficult to appease the fans, especially with something on a large scale like Halo Infinite. But things have gotta be done within a certain time frame, or else it's just not gonna be good. And unfortunately, 343 Industries seems to have the pace of a snail stuck in molasses. They, for some reason, the fans want the progression system. Hey, I would love the progression system. And I would have loved progression system about 3/4 of a year ago after the game, like a few months after the game came out. I don't care about the progression system anymore because I've all but expected that it's not even coming to begin with. Then you talk about Forge and online co-op, and you're like, okay, awesome. I can't wait for those. And no, I'm not even sure if they're coming. And by the time they do come, if they do, nobody's gonna give a shit about them. Because it's been too long. Like, dude, I don't understand, man. Like, they were talking so much before Halo Infinite's release about how passionate they are about Halo Infinite, and how much they love the Halo IP, and this and the other thing. And they haven't done anything to prove it, aside from making a good campaign. Which the campaign is good. I'll admit it was a little lacking, but the gameplay in the campaign is good. I just don't understand how they're now... They wanted to make a live service and they're failing. And I don't understand what they thought a live service was. I don't know what they thought they could do with a live service, but whatever. Forge beta, despite launching in beta, 343 says Forge will be a fully featured creation suite. In fact, 2 new multiplayer maps coming in the winter update were entirely created in Forge, Argyle, and Detachment. 343 wouldn't share much more, but promises to discuss Forge in greater detail via community updates in September and October. And then multiplayer. Chosen multiplayer, the winter update introduces a free 30-tier battle pass along with a new Match XP beta. Match XP will be the primary method of progressing through the battle pass, rewarding the players simply for playing, regardless of modes, and takes into account your victories and performance. Since it's in beta, 343 will tweak how Match XP is doled out based on player feedback. So, yeah, again, they're adding something that should have been in at launch. I don't understand, I watched some, I didn't watch the full video of, like, the interview or whatever, because it's like a 17-minute video, and I don't give a shit. But I saw some clips of the one spokesperson that was talking from 343 to the person conducting the interview about Match XP, and the dude literally says something along the lines of, like, so, yeah, we're thinking about implementing, post-Match XP, you actually get experience, you actually get progression just for playing Halo. And it's like, wow, mind blown. You didn't think that should have been a thing from the start? But, I don't know, whatever. I'm done. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've spent way too much time on Halo Infinite. Halo's a game series that I genuinely really do care about, and it just sucks that they're fucking killing it. Third topic for today is something I knew would happen, where I thought this would happen, and in some instances, I knew it would happen. In a new blog post, Xbox head Phil Spencer discussed Microsoft's intentions for Activision Blizzard's IPs following its ongoing acquisition of the company. Among these plans, naturally, is to bolster the value of Xbox Game Pass by adding Activision Blizzard's library of titles, including Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo. Pausing on the article there, I figured this would happen. I said back when Microsoft announced, or the Microsoft Activision Blizzard acquisition was announced, that they were probably going to bring all the older Call of Duties to Game Pass. It seems like they're finally doing that. So, if you love COD, it seems like getting Game Pass is super worth it now, because once they go live, you'll be able to play hopefully every old Call of Duty, like, practically for free with Game Pass, which would be huge. That'd be huge. No longer would the days of fucking paying $60 for a 5 to 6 year old game be, the point on Steam. So hopefully that happens. Spencer discusses expanding player choice through Game Pass by offering library titles for an affordable subscription fee, appealing to players of various budgets. Spencer hopes that including Activision Blizzard games will make the service more appealing to existing and potential subscribers. This is from the interview. We intend to make Activision Blizzard's much-loved library of games, including Overwatch, Diablo, and Call of Duty, available in Game Pass to grow those gaming communities by delivering even more value to players. We hope to continue growing Game Pass, extending its appeal to mobile phones and any connected device. Spencer also reiterates Microsoft's promise to keep popular Activision Blizzard franchises multi-platform, citing its handling of Minecraft as an example. Additionally, the company hopes to expand Activision's portfolio to mobile platforms and make them available to play on other devices via cloud streaming. Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard is projected to be completed sometime during the summer of 2023. After that, it's anyone's guess as to how long it will be before we see these franchises land on Game Pass. On the Blizzard side, Overwatch 2 launches in free-to-play early access on October 4th, and Diablo 4 is seemingly years away. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 releases in October, but the series will reportedly skip 2023, meaning the first entry under the Microsoft banner won't be until 2024 at the earliest, which is good. Also, something that I want to point out and show real quick is, I've mentioned this a lot, but I don't know if I've ever actually shown this, but I just want to point out that Modern Warfare 222 is actually on Steam. As soon as I saw this game on Steam, I knew that Call of Duty was at least in better hands than it was. The fact that we have COD on Steam now just makes me feel so good. It just makes me feel so happy about the future of this fucking franchise. But yeah, so again, if the old CODs get added to Xbox Game Pass, something that I said last bullshit podcast was about speedrunning Black Ops 2. I kind of want to learn that, and I feel like that would be fun. I might give it a shot. If Black Ops 2 comes to Game Pass and I can just get the game with Game Pass for like $15 a month or whatever, I don't know, I might consider it. Or I might just buy it, because again, if Microsoft is doing this with Call of Duty for Game Pass, they might also turn around and drop the prices on Steam too. Is Black Ops 2 on Steam? I think it is. Hold on. Let me just double check that, because I don't want to say that and then have it not actually be here. Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 is still $60 on Steam. It is still $60. Which I just can't imagine. I hope that drops to like 20, dude. Like, I'm sorry, that game is goated, but it is not worth $60 in 2022. Anyway, moving on to our fourth topic. Let me ask you a question, chat. Let me ask you a question, viewers on YouTube. Can a game survive the modern video game landscape without being delayed? I'm starting to believe that the answer is no. And what I mean by survive is meaning, can a game release fully polished, fully flushed out, and okay, like completely okay, like glitches and like technically wise, without being delayed in the modern landscape? I don't think that's possible. Because a game that I had completely forgotten about until I read this article and thought that this would genuinely never happen to was recently delayed. End Night Games' The Forest became one of my favorite... Okay, this is like the article writer of the Game Informer article. Okay, this is not me saying this. End Night Games' The Forest became one of my favorite co-op experiences almost 2 years after its launch, and when more Sons of the Forest footage was revealed the following year, my excitement level reached an all-time high. Sadly, the sequel has been delayed again, so apparently this is the second time, which I didn't know. But the devs seem confident in the horror survival game's early 2023 release period. So, apparently this game has been delayed, which it was a game, again, that I forgot about and I didn't think was going to be delayed, but here's a picture of the tweet. at Night Games. Hey everyone, due to the scope of our new game Sons of the Forest, it has been hard to pinpoint an exact release date, and today we have to delay one last time, giving us time to complete the polish we feel is needed. We will release February 23rd, 2023, priced at $30, bro. It's gonna be at $30. That's fine, dude. Honestly, that's a price that even I would pay for a game. I was not a huge fan of The Forest, but I got like 4 to 5 maybe hours of entertainment. Basically a Call of Duty campaign's length of time of entertainment out of it. I would pay $30 for like a couple days worth of gaming. 100%. I feel like Sons of the Forest might even expand upon what the Forest established and make it a bit less jank. And I don't necessarily mean with glitches. I just mean like there are certain things about the Forest that were just really jank, and I think maybe the devs learned from that and made I mean hopefully this game is better than the Forest, and if it's priced at $30, fuck yeah, I'll get it. It's a horror survival game. Like, that sounds fucking sick. For $30? Hell yeah, man. Like, that just seems like a fucking bargain for the amount of fun I'll have with the game. Like, you know, it's not a typical new game $60. Literally, honestly, the only marketing modern gaming needs for me to be like, yeah, I'll give it a shot, is just to not be $60. If it's like $30 or $40, I'm more inclined to be like, yeah, I'll buy that, give it a shot. Like, it's just anything less than 30 or anything less than 60 at this point, and I'm willing to give it a shot probably if I have the money. Now moving on to our fifth topic. So yeah, Sons of the Forest got delayed again. For those of you who are fans of the Forest and Night Games, it's gonna be delayed, but it'll be early 2023. February 23rd is the new release date, so be psyched for that. At least they didn't delay it by years. So moving on to our fifth topic. Are we ready to get in some trouble with the Mafia? Mafia celebrates its 20th anniversary today. Today being whenever this article was written, which it looks like it was on the 29th. And in a new blog post by Hangar 13, the principal minds behind the series reflect on its creation and the history while also teasing what's next. Longtime Mafia designers Roman Hradic and Tomas Hrebicic, head of and Alex Cox, which is just like the easiest name to pronounce in the world comparatively to the previous two, sat down to discuss Mafia's entire history and their most cherished moments of the memories of the franchise. It's worth a read if you consider yourself a diehard fan, but the most exciting news from the conversation is the confirmation the next game is in development. Hrebicic, however the fuck you say his last name, I'm sorry, writes, I'm happy to confirm we've started work on an all-new Mafia project. While it's a few years away, we can't share anything more right now. We're really excited to keep working on this beloved franchise and entertain our players with new stories. Quote, a few years away is a long time to wait, especially since the last mainland entry, Mafia 3, is approaching 6 years old, launching in October 2016. We're happy to see the series continue and are curious to see where it heads next. In 2020, Hangar 13 released enhanced remasters of all 3 games, the most substantial being a complete remake of the original dubbed Mafia Definitive Edition. Here's a verified bullshit podcast Verve hot take. I loved Mafia 3. Mafia 3 was a very fun game. I wouldn't say that the story was necessarily like amazing or really good, but if you have like an open GTA clone period piece game, it's always gonna be good. Except for when it's like Far Cry Primal. When I say period piece, I mean like if you have an open world GTA style game back in like the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the 2010s, whatever it is, anywhere, I would say probably the 20s is the cutoff point. Like as soon as you have, well actually no, because Red Dead was like in the 1910s. So like pretty much if you stay the 19th century, it's gonna be a fun game. My personal, I guess, opinion is that the cutoff is cars. Red Dead is kind of a rare example, or a rare exception. But typically, as long as it's a time period that has motorized vehicles, it's gonna be a great fucking game. And I always love me an open world time, like, you know, period piece game. Like Mafia 3 with the, I think it was the 60s, I think Mafia 2 was like the 40s, you know. It'd be nice to see a Mafia game in the 50s, you know, like, that'd be super fucking cool. As a matter of fact, I don't really see very many games in the 50s. The only kind of 50s period piece game I can think of right now is like, was it Destroy All Humans? That Alien game. I think that was like more of like a 50s period piece. Like, I'd be interested to see what like a GTA like game would be with like a 50s period piece. You know, those like retro fucking spaceship cars. You know, like the old fucking Chevrolet Bel Airs and shit. That'd be sick. Sorry, I had to take a drink. But yeah, I feel like an old like 50s period piece game that's like a GTA clone kind of thing would be fucking amazing. Would love that. So yeah, I'm excited for Mafia 4 or whatever the next Mafia game is going to be. I loved, again, hot take, I know a lot of people didn't like Mafia 3. I loved Mafia 3. I feel like in the broad scope of the gaming universe, it kind of got ruined by a meme. There's a very popular Mafia 3 meme where there's a kid playing Mafia 3 and his mom in the background is screaming at him to go take a shit because he's shitting himself. It's a funny meme, but I feel like that meme has kind of ruined Mafia 3 in the minds of the fans. Or in the minds of gamers, but, you know, I enjoyed Mafia 3. Mafia 3 was a fun game. I did a review of it a long while ago. I actually very vividly remember that review because that was back when I was making content on just my PlayStation 4, and I remember I was playing Mafia 3, and just after I was done playing Mafia 3 and I was writing the script for the video was when my PS4, I think, died. And I had to wait a long while of saving up money at my part-time job to be able to get a new PS4 Pro. So instead of getting another PS4, I got a PS4 Pro at the time. Which I still have, by the way. I still have that same PS4 Pro. But yeah, it's interesting that I went I went to go do the review, and like partway through writing the script for the review, I think the Mafia 3 review actually might have been the last thing I got out before my PS4 croaked. I don't remember, but I just remember there was a gap of time surrounding that video where I didn't post for a while, and I think I made a video saying, yeah, my PS4 shit out, but I'll be back later with another one. But yeah. Moving on to our 6th topic, and I think we're moving on from gaming news into like more world news now, kind of more like outside gaming news. I heard that this was bad, but I guess it really was that bad. Netflix has reportedly canceled its Resident Evil series after just one season. This news comes from a report from Deadline, which reports that Netflix has decided to not to move forward with a second season of the show following the release of season 1 last month. As far as why, there's no official reason as of yet, but considering Netflix's past, it's likely that Resident Evil didn't meet expectations in terms of both critical and audience response. The show will now join many other shows canceled after just one season at the streaming platform, including Cowboy Bebop, The Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, and more. Deadline notes that Resident Evil's release came right after the highly anticipated Season 4 of Stranger Things, which might have led to its less than stellar first weekend on the service. However, the series still debuted in the number 2 spot behind Stranger Things, pulling in 72.7 million watch hours. Deadline reports that viewers watched Resident Evil for 73.3 million hours in its second week, taking the number 3 spot on Netflix before dipping out of Netflix's top 10 by week 3. This isn't Netflix's first foray into the world of Resident Evil, though. Its 2021 movie, Resident Evil Infinite Darkness, holds that title, but that anime series wasn't well received either. For more about the series, check out, their article on the retrospective of the 25 years of Resident Evil. But it's interesting that, again, Resident Evil just gets absolutely shit on. I know people like Resident Evil. I know some fans of Resident Evil, Shadow being one of my good friend Shadow being one of them. But it seems like when it comes to anything but video games, Resident Evil is just terrible and gets shit on. Almost everything that I've seen or heard of Resident Evil outside of the video games is always terrible or just okay. And it seems like everything that Resident Evil tries to do outside of the games just ends in like a big flop, which is just really interesting to think about. I remember the only thing I've ever seen of Resident Evil's TV show was I saw a Corridor Crew VFX artists react, and they did a scene from the first episode of the Resident Evil show where the truck explodes outside of RPD and the dude on fire walks in. Really cool scene. But they pointed out that the explosions of the truck are just big explosions pulled really close to the camera, so they move way too fast. Or too slow. I can't remember what they said. I think it was too slow. The explosions are just way too slow, because you're taking really slow, really far away VFX of explosions and putting them, like, just 100 meters away. And so the explosions were, like, really slow coming out of the fucking truck. And I thought that was funny, because explosions are not slow. Explosions are very fast. The only time when explosions are slow is if you're, like, a fucking kilometer away. And they're like, you know, and, like, the fucking... It happens and the shockwave hits you. Like, you know, you see it happen before you hear it. You know, those kind of explosions are slow. An explosion that's that close is not going to be super slow, and it's funny that they were, like, kind of pointing that out. Not necessarily roasting it, but they were like, yeah, they really did this explosion dirty. The VFX team really did this show dirty, which kind of, you know, is rough. And then they were talking about the guy on fire shot where the guy was walking in on fire. Pretty good. That shot was pretty good. Although they pointed out that it didn't seem like they used a real man on fire, and if they did, they barely used the practical effect side of it. Like, they didn't use a man on fire, and even if they did use a real man on fire, they just covered all the actual flames with special effects flames, and it kind of ruined it. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on to our 7th topic. I will tell you a tale about a strong nose, a strong sense of smell. This story takes place in Rome, Italy. A drug-sniffing dog led frontier police Friday at a Milan airport to some 13 kilograms, so nearly 30 pounds, of cocaine. Yeah, that's right, the angel's snow, the angel dust, the devil's cum. No, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but cocaine, you know, the thing that you go, you know, you snort and it you know, is really bad for you. Stuffed into the leather upholstery of a motorized wheelchair, whose user immediately stood up and was arrested, authorities said. So somebody was trying to get on a plane in a motorized wheelchair, pretending that their legs didn't work, in a motorized wheelchair, and they're trying to smuggle cocaine out of the country. Wow. What the fuck? I mean, not only is it fucked up, you know, and against the law to smuggle cocaine, but you're also pretending to be disabled to do so? That's really fucked up, my guy. Holy shit. The specialized canine unit was being deployed at Malpensa Airport to check arriving passengers and their luggage from a flight from the Dominican Republic. Okay, so it was smuggling into Italy, not out of. Since previously drug couriers had used that route, the Financial Guard police said in a statement. When a dog drew officers' attention to the traveler, police first checked his luggage, which yielded nothing, then slashed the wheelchair's upholstery, discovering the cocaine. Police said that when the cocaine was found, the chair user, a Spaniard who had requested airport personnel to help guide the wheelchair, got up and walked without assistance and was taken into custody. The passenger was brought to a local jail where judicial authorities upheld his detention pending investigation of the case, the statement said. Police said the 11 packets of cocaine, weighing a total of 13.3 kilograms, nearly 30 pounds, could have yielded some 70,000 individual doses of the drug and a street sale value of some 1.4 million euros, which is just absolutely insane. So hold on, let me type let me get a conversion here real quick. What was it? Hold on, it was 1.4. So 1, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So that is see, about the same. 14 million euros is about 13,900,000. Wait. No, what am I saying? 1,400,000 euros is $1,390,130. So yeah, like almost $1.5 million worth of fucking cocaine was busted by this one dog. This one dog busted a man in a wheelchair who could walk, with like almost $1.5 million worth of fucking cocaine. That is nuts. That's actually nuts. I cannot believe that that dog's a national hero. Italians, you need to give that dog a fucking medal, man. That's insane. Moving on to our 8th topic. Now, if you guys remember, in last week, I think it was last week's podcast, we talked about the worst criminal on the entire planet. The man who smuggled over 1,700 turtles and lizards into the United States. What an absolute mad criminal. Okay, I know that I was kind of shitting on it and memeing on it. Yes, animal smuggling is a real and can be a very dangerous crime. I'm just saying that I found it funny that the dude was smuggling, out of every animal he could smuggle, he was smuggling lizards and turtles. I thought that was kind of funny. But anyway, we have found the worst accident on the planet, perfectly fitting with the worst crime on the planet. So the worst crime on the planet was last week. A man was smuggling 1,700 reptiles and turtles and baby crocodiles into the U.S. Now we have the worst accident. This was by far the absolute worst accident at Port Chester in New York. Several live lizards were wrongly delivered to a residence in a village north of New York City. Quote, needless to say, the addressee was quite startled when they opened the box, Port Chester police wrote on Facebook. Police received the call about the reptiles just after noon on Saturday. They posted a picture on Sunday of 3 dark-colored lizards held in a large white container. It was not immediately clear whether there were more reptiles not pictured. Quote, if you lost your lizards and iguanas, we have them at the police department, the police wrote. They said they held the animals until a local animal sanctuary could pick them up for safekeeping. So there you go. The biggest criminal on the planet synonymously fits with just next week. The worst accident on the planet. Instead of smuggling 1,700 animals into the United States, reptiles into the United States, there were about several lizards mistakenly mailed to the wrong house. The worst accident on the entire planet. What is such a loss. Such a loss to befall humanity of all these reptiles being lost. I hope the owner gets their... Oh, excuse me. I hope the owner gets their reptiles soon. Because, god damn, that person really needs their reptiles. Alright, and last, but certainly not least topic. This, honestly, I think is the funniest topic out of everything. I feel the last one was funny. This one's fucking great. Our 9th final topic for the September 5th, 2022 episode of the Bullshit Podcast is about an entire town for gore. An entire town for gore, something very important. The small northwest Iowa city of Sheldon, which I'm going to pause right there. Sheldon, Iowa population. How many people are in there? 5,178 as according to the year of 2020. The U.S. Census Bureau in 2020. Oh, hey, Shadow. Thanks for the raid, man. Appreciate it. The U.S. Census Bureau in 2020 said that Sheldon, Iowa had about 5,178 people in it. That means 5,178 people all unanimously at the same time forgot about this. The small northwest Iowa city of Sheldon planned to make the opening of a time capsule one of the centerpiece events of its 150th anniversary this weekend, but ran into a slight problem. No one is sure where the time capsule is buried. An entire town of 5,000 plus people forgore where their time capsule was. The entire city of 5,000 plus people forgore where their time capsule was. No one is sure where the time capsule is buried. We're trying to find instructions on exactly where it's at before we just start digging, said Sheldon Chamber of Commerce Director Ashley Nordahl, however you say your last name, I'm sorry. Quote, we think we know where it is, but to dig up concrete in the park when we have such a big event going on, we're just postponing that a little bit later in the year. The time capsule was buried 50 years ago during Sheldon's centennial celebration, and over time its specific location became a bit fuzzy. Event organizers had planned to open the time capsule during a town birthday celebration Friday morning, featuring birthday cake and coffee. They then planned to place new items inside of the time capsule and rebury it. The other events will go on as planned, with the time capsule unveiling delayed until workers can find it. To do that, the city will hire a company with an underground radar system that helped the nearby city of Selby find its time capsule earlier this year. Quote, we have every intention of finding it and digging it up, Nordahl said. It's just a little more involved than what we originally had planned. Oh, here we go. Sheldon, a city of 5,178 people, about 160 miles northwest of Des Moines, was founded in 1872. A whole 5,000 plus people completely forgore where their time capsule was. Which is just, I cannot fucking believe. So many people just forgore. Oh my god, that's fucking great. Well, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that has been it for the Bullshit Podcast, September 5th, 2022. I've been your host, Verve. Didn't have a guest this time. Too short of a notice. But I appreciate everyone who was watching. Just to do a short recap. Assassin's Creed Mirage. We're going to find out more about that at September 10th, which is this Saturday. So hopefully this Saturday we'll find out more about Assassin's Creed Mirage, and maybe I'll have a follow-up topic for next week's podcast, seeing how Assassin's Creed Mirage looked. I'm hoping it is a huge departure from, Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla. I'm sorry, I'm sick of Assassin's Creed being Dark Souls. And I'm not saying that because of difficulty, I'm saying that because of gameplay. Assassin's Creed has turned more into Dark Souls, where you fucking parry and roll out of active combat engagements instead of actually stealth. Like, the Assassin's Creed brand was founded upon, which was stealth, is completely not in the new games, at least as far as I know. I played Origins, you don't even get an instant kill for a hidden blade, it's fucking awful. But here's hoping that Mirage, especially since it looks like it's in, like, a time period and a location that kind of looks like a hybrid between Revelations' Constantinople and Origins' ancient Egypt. It kind of looks like some sort of, like, Jerusalemic, like, combo of the two. It said it's in, where did it say it was in? It said it was in Baghdad. So yeah, it's in Iraq. So that kind of makes sense. So, a Middle Eastern Assassin's Creed. Hopefully it'll be kind of more similar to the classic and stuff. Based upon the picture that we have of the main character, he looks a lot like Altair, which makes sense. So I'm hoping that, it's more akin to the classic Assassin's Creed games than the newer ones, where it's all just about the combat and there's no stealth involved. Halo Infinite, don't want to talk about it. Watch my video on my main channel. I almost regret buying Halo Infinite. That explains my feelings way better than anything else could. Psyched for Call of Duty, as well as, what did they say? I'm excited for Call of Duty, Overwatch, and Diablo coming to Game Pass. That's going to be huge, especially the old Call of Duties. If the old Call of Duties can get on Game Pass, maybe if Microsoft, like, drops the old Call of Duties from fucking full $60 to, like, $20, that would be great. Like, I'm sorry, there's no reason why in 2022 Black Ops 2 should still be $60 on Steam. There's no excuse for that. If you were looking forward to Sons of the Forest, it got delayed till February 23rd, 2023, and it'll only be $30, so I'm probably going to get it just because it's just not a full $60. I'm excited to see what Hangar 13 does with a new Mafia game, because, hot take, I enjoyed Mafia 3. It was a fun game. Resident Evil And Shadow, I know that since you've hosted me and you're here, this will make you sad, but you did miss it. But as reported by Deadline, Netflix has now canceled the Resident Evil TV show. They're not gonna have a second season, because it just didn't, I guess, live up. They didn't really provide a reason. There's no official reason, but the consensus is that it just didn't do as well as they'd hoped. A dog caught a guy who was pretending to be disabled, smuggling almost $1.5 million worth of cocaine into Milan. Some reptiles got misplaced. An entire town forgot about where their time capsule was. So, again, thank you all so much for watching the Bullshit Podcast for September 5th, 2022. I love you all. And those of you on YouTube, I will see you next Sunday for the highlights of this podcast, and next Monday for the September 12th edition of the Bullshit Podcast. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you then. Twitch chat, don't go anywhere. The after show is starting right now.